the airport's obviously named after the greatest or the second greatest. You decide. So we have made it to Madeira. First impressions?
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
So straight ahead of us we have the main motorway which takes you to the capital, Funchal, and then the top right of the screen where the water is, that's actually where the airport is, where the airplanes come and go. So it must be pretty dicey when the weather's a bit rough, but it's pretty cool as far as airports go. It's pretty amazing to think that we're still in Europe here. Look at this, there's waterfalls in amongst the trees, in the middle of the mountains, and then this pearl here, right next to the Atlantic. So you've got these exotic plants growing next to the main road, but the really cool thing is in amongst these huge mountains, you've got these tunnels that you can drive through. The last one that we drove through was 3.1 kilometers long. Not every morning I'm walking up some steps to go into some dark cave, but apparently this is the price you have to pay to get a good sunrise. So made it through that dark cave. The sun's coming out a little bit now, but this is the reward. Look at that! It looks like we made the right decision to get up early for sunrise, and while the weather was a little chilly that time of the day, we managed to take some cool photographs. What we didn't bank on, however, was the added bonus of having the whole beach to ourselves. That's the mountain there. I don't know if you can see it close up. You can see the road signs, which is basically where we've driven through to get here. What do you think of the view?
Amazing, breathtaking.
Worth getting up at 5 AM for?
Well, yeah, definitely.
Look at all the little holes in it with all the little stones. Something even cooler that I've just seen. I mean, that's not cool. You've got to go to the beach, be careful, not be daft. But going out here, you can see this little groove, and there's a Virgin Mary there. Can you see it? So we've been to see the sunrise, and now we are on a place called Sextol Beach, which is one of the few black sand beaches in Europe. Check this out. What a view this is. See the mountains, you see the roads curling around the cliffs. Then look at that. There's a waterfall here to visit as well. So we stopped off at a viewpoint, but I need to show you this. Just look at the wall, the amount of lizards that are there. Look at them. There's loads of them. Can you see them? But less of that. Look at this view over here. Look at the colour of the water and the waves. What a beautiful place this is. The Virgin Mary. And then if you look at this mountain over here, you can see the type of roads that you have to drive on to get up there. Very windy. Can be a bit daunting when the weather's very bad or it's very dark. Start a trend here with these padlocks. We have found the first mosaic of the trip. Bem-vindo à Ribeira da Janela.
So bad.
Excuse the pronunciation, it's terrible, but there we go. What a nice mosaic that is. We carried on driving and exploring the northwest coastline of the island. We saw spectacular viewpoints of the ocean and mountains. We discovered the locals who were hard at work picking grapes to make wine with,
and we saw exotic plants that we wouldn't normally see. We drove through small isolated villages in amazement at how people originally built a life for themselves in such a remote area. Then we headed back to where we were staying to grab a quick lunch.
Did you notice that every YouTuber, they always complain about the noise in the background? It's like, I'm really, really sorry, but my neighbor, blah, 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 on the street, blah, 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 or the plane, blah, blah, blah. Well, we feel like a proper YouTuber because there is like some kind of work going on happening behind them lovely, lovely windows. You can probably hear it.
Anyway, we're gonna start the food taste.
Oh, they stopped.
Portuguese tart.
There's a crunch. Better than the one from the supermarket. Yeah?
100%. So the pastry on the outside, and then like a custard filling in the middle. Then the next one we have like a lemon tart, I guess it looks like.
Is it?
Well, it looks like it, I don't know if it is. Yeah?
Lemon?
Beautiful. Absolutely delicious.
After lunch, the plan was to drive to the famous Fanal Forest and take in some more of the beautiful landscape that Madeira had to offer. It was a pretty straightforward drive, except we discovered that we also had to share the roads with cows in certain places.
Now they decide to tell us that there's cows here. Check this out. Greetings from the top of this mountain that we've currently drove up. The car was struggling to get up in third gear, so I had to pop it down into second, get a bit of momentum, but here we are. And I'm going to show you the view that we have right now, which is absolutely stunning. You can see that the clouds are both part of the mountain. Look at that.
Stunning, isn't it?
It's absolutely beautiful. So quiet up here as well, you cannot hear a thing. So peaceful. Life above the clouds. So just got out of the car, walking about 100 metres towards this viewpoint. You'll be amazed at what we're going to see here. So again, I took a stop for a couple of minutes. I just wanted to show you that there's cows basically everywhere, so near to the road as well. How now, brown cow? Enjoy your feast. This place is spooky. I stopped for about no more than 10 seconds just to take a few photos, and in that time Ella's walked on a little bit more and I can't find her. The mist's definitely coming here, look in all directions. Somebody up there, I think that's Ella, but I'm not 100%. There's a photographer there, just about that I can make out. Every direction you look. So spooky. So what do you think of this place?
It's absolutely amazing.
I lost you there.
Have you seen anything like that ever before?
I stopped to take some photos for about 10 seconds and you were gone.
Yes, I'm moving very, very fast. Oh, we both know that it's not true.
Just dense fog in all directions.
Right, time for a quick Fanal Forest information overload. Number 1, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, one of the best preserved forests in the world. Number 2, it has dense vegetation and diverse plant life, including the laurel trees, mosses, ferns, heather and lichen. Number 3, with the trees hanging over, the dense vegetation and the frequently clouded mist, it gives the tourist an experience that feels like stepping in a fairy tale. Number 4, it holds cultural significance for the people of Madeira. It serves as a symbol of the island's natural heritage and ecological importance.
So the mist has cleared a little bit, and straight in front of me, check this out. There's Bessie in all the glory. No wonder all the grass is short around here. It's one thing I've just noticed in amongst all the fog. My beard's actually wet. It's supposed to be a pond here, but I've got no idea where it is.
Is it still warm?
There's no heat I can feel coming off it, but I'm just showing how big the poos are that they produce in comparison to the size of my hand. I think I've got probably an average size hand, and that poo is massive.
That wrapped up our trip to the Fanal Forest. Definitely worth a visit if you're in Madeira. We planned to head back to our Airbnb after that, but there was a police car blocking the road at the bottom of the hill in Porto Menezes. Apparently, a lorry got stuck on the incline near the top of the hill, and this blocked all traffic in both directions. So instead, we had a quick wander around the seafront in Porto Menezes, hoping that the road would be clear soon.
Can you hear the sound of the waves?
After a bit of time spent watching the waves crash against the rocks, the road was still blocked, and there was no way back to where we were staying, other than taking a long detour loop back via the Fanal Forest. So that's what we did. Now, remember the mist in the Fanal Forest and the cows on the road before? Add driving a car into the mix, and darkness, and it was one of the scariest drives I've ever done. What should have been no more than a 10-minute drive ended up being well over an hour, and more than 40 kilometers extra on our journey. But we made it back. And what a day it was on our first full day in Madeira, full of the highs and the lows. So that wraps it up for us covering the northwest side of Madeira. I hope you enjoyed it, hope you got something out of it, especially if you are planning to travel to Madeira. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video with your friends, your family, your pets and your enemies. I do have some extra videos coming up on the way of other parts of Madeira and other parts of Europe. See you in the next one.